my name's Schrock, and I'm going to tell you 3 things that have made me who I am today. The first thing is hard work. I consider myself a very hard worker. The first 2 years of my high school career, I was on the basketball team, so I had to manage basketball and my schoolwork. We had late practices and long days on game days, and then schoolwork on top of that. But I always made sure my schoolwork was done, and I always made sure I was studying for an exam. But I decided to quit basketball my junior year, and I decided to continue my hard work at Bed Bath & Beyond. And I had long-hour shifts. I was working till 11, but I always made sure my schoolwork was done, and I always made sure I was studying for an exam, because I know how important my grades were to me. And then on top of working at Bed Bath & Beyond, I was also a manager on my yearbook staff, and we have a pretty big school, so our yearbook was very important to the school. So I had to make it as perfect as I could. And there was always people looking up to me and asking me for advice on their pages, and looking up to me as a leader too. So balancing those 2 things really made me a hard worker, and then basketball too made me a very hard worker as well. And I'm also very determined. When it comes to sports, I like to win. I want to win as best as I can, and I'll do everything to try to win. But I know I can't always win in everything, but I'm always very determined to win, and I have to accept that I'm going to lose eventually. And I'm also very determined to get good grades in school. I'll study a week in advance for an exam that I know that's coming up because I want to get that A+. And I work very hard on projects and papers to get that A+ or get an A. I don't like to settle for B's. And when I was working at Bed Bath & Beyond, I always made sure that my projects I was assigned to at work were done to my best abilities, and same with my pages on the yearbook staff. I always made sure everything was perfectly aligned and everything was in the right shape and everything. So I was very determined to make sure that everything looks perfect. Lastly, I overcame being the youngest of 5 kids. Growing up in school, I was always getting compared to my siblings. Middle school teachers are always comparing me to my siblings, and in high school too. The first day of school, they read my name off. Oh, you're a Schrock. Are you like your sister or are you like your brothers? But really, I'm not like either of them. I'm different than all my siblings. And the one thing that really affected me the most was my sister. She's a very good basketball player. She was the best to ever come out of our high school. And the coach always compared me to her. You're not as good as Cassie this, blah, blah, blah. It really did affect me the most. And I decided to quit because of that reason. I just couldn't take it any longer. Cassie and I are 2 different people. She's tomboy, I'm not. So he never understood that, and he never understood that we had different talents as well. And so I turned to working at Bed Bath & Beyond and being a manager on the yearbook staff. And that made me different than my siblings. None of my siblings have ever done that. They don't do activities other than sports. And so I overcame being the youngest of 5 kids by doing yearbook stuff and working and doing other school activities besides sports. To wrap it up, like I told you, I'm a hard worker, and hard work has made me successful in school and on work, and so has being determined. To be determined in college to get good grades has made me get on the dean's list since I've been a freshman. And lastly, overcoming being the youngest of 5 kids has also made me a hard worker and made me be determined as well. If I didn't have any of these 3 things happen to me, then I don't know where I would be, and I wouldn't be who I am.